Welcome back to Daily Principle. Today we're exploring one of the most powerful habits you can build, discipline. If you're ready to take control of your actions, strengthen your mindset, and create lasting success, you're in the right place. Most people believe success comes from motivation, but motivation disappears when life gets difficult. Discipline is what keeps you moving when you don't feel like taking another step. In today's video, you'll discover why managing your emotions, embracing failure, and staying consistent are the real secrets to achieving goals that most people never reach. Stay with me because one idea in this video could completely change the way you approach success forever. Discipline is the quiet force behind every meaningful achievement. It's not built through one big decision, but through the small choices you make every single day. Talent can give you an advantage, and opportunities can open doors, but without discipline, neither lasts. Real success comes from showing up consistently, even when it's difficult. The first step toward becoming disciplined is understanding yourself. You can't improve habits you never notice. Many people spend their days reacting instead of intentionally choosing how they use their time, energy, and attention. If you want greater control over your future, begin by paying attention to your present. For 1 week, write down how you spend your day from morning until night. Don't judge yourself, simply observe. Once you see everything on paper, you'll likely discover patterns you never noticed before. You may find hours disappearing into distractions or routines that contribute very little to your long-term goals. Awareness creates clarity, and clarity gives you the power to change. Once you know where you stand, resist the urge to change everything overnight. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting instant transformation. They create impossible routines, stay consistent for a few days, then give up. Discipline isn't built through extreme effort. It's built through small actions repeated consistently. Think of it like building strength in the gym. You don't start with the heaviest weight. You begin with something manageable and gradually improve. If your goal is waking up earlier, don't force yourself to rise 2 hours sooner tomorrow. Shift your alarm by 10 or 15 minutes until the habit becomes natural. Small victories build momentum, and momentum builds lasting discipline. Another mistake people make is waiting until they feel motivated. The problem is motivation is unpredictable. Some days you'll have plenty of it, and other days you'll have none. Discipline means taking action anyway. When a task feels overwhelming, make it smaller. If exercising for an hour feels impossible, promise yourself just 5 minutes. Starting is usually the hardest part. More often than not, those 5 minutes turn into much more. Even if they don't, you've still strengthened the habit of showing up. Another essential part of discipline is learning to delay gratification. We live in a culture that promises quick success and instant rewards, but lasting achievements rarely happen that way. Discipline means choosing today's effort over today's comfort because you're committed to tomorrow's reward. The famous marshmallow experiment demonstrated this perfectly. Children who could wait for a bigger reward instead of taking an immediate one often experience better outcomes later in life. The lesson remains timeless. People who can resist short-term pleasure are more likely to achieve long-term success. That doesn't simply mean saying no to distractions. It means saying yes to what matters most. Focus is one of the greatest forms of discipline. If you chase too many goals at once, your energy becomes scattered. Identify the few priorities that will make the biggest difference, then commit to them fully. Every unnecessary distraction you remove creates more room for meaningful progress. Finally, build routines that support your goals. Successful people don't rely on extraordinary willpower every day. They create systems that make good decisions automatic. Whether it's a morning routine, scheduled work sessions, or daily planning, routines reduce decision fatigue and make consistency much easier. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about choosing the right actions often enough that they become part of who you are. Every small decision shapes your identity. Stay consistent, stay patient, and remember that the habits you build today will determine the life you live tomorrow. When your day follows a clear routine, you stop wasting energy deciding what to do next. The important work is already planned, which reduces decision fatigue and leaves more mental space for what truly matters. Start by identifying the few actions that will have the biggest impact on your goals. Schedule those tasks at the same time each day until they become automatic. That's how discipline grows. It stops feeling like something you force and starts becoming part of who you are. The power of a routine isn't perfection, it's consistency. You don't need to feel motivated every day. You simply follow the system you've already created. At the same time, stay flexible. Life won't always go according to plan. Unexpected challenges, busy days, and setbacks are inevitable. Don't let one missed day become an excuse to quit altogether. Discipline is measured by how quickly you recover, not by never making mistakes. The goal is always to return to the path and keep moving forward. Discipline is not a finish line you reach once. It's a skill that grows stronger through daily practice. Like any skill, the more you use it, the more natural it becomes. It's easy to stay focused when life feels comfortable, but true discipline reveals itself during difficult moments. When you're tired, discouraged, or facing obstacles, that's when your commitment is truly tested. Many people quit because they mistake discomfort for failure. They hit one obstacle and assume the journey isn't working. But success has never been a straight road. Every worthwhile goal comes with delays, setbacks, and moments of doubt. The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid challenges. They're the ones who continue despite them. Discipline isn't about waiting until you feel inspired. It's about doing what needs to be done because your future depends on today's choices. The strongest people aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who keep showing up long after everyone else has stopped. Real discipline is built through ordinary moments. It's found in the quiet decisions no one notices. Choosing to wake up on time, finishing the task you promised yourself you'd complete, saying no to distractions when nobody is watching. Those seemingly small actions shape your character far more than rare moments of extraordinary effort. Patience is another essential part of discipline. We live in a world that expects instant results, but meaningful progress rarely happens overnight. Lasting success requires consistency over time. You must trust that every small action is adding up, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Think of planting a tree. After placing the seed in the ground, nothing seems to happen for quite some time. But beneath the surface, the roots are quietly growing stronger. Eventually, the tree appears. Discipline works the same way. Every consistent effort builds a stronger foundation until one day the progress becomes impossible to ignore. Your environment also has a huge influence on your discipline. The people around you can either strengthen your habits or weaken them. If you're surrounded by people who constantly make excuses or settle for less, staying focused becomes much harder. But when you're around disciplined, ambitious people, their mindset begins to influence your own. That's why it's important to choose your circle wisely. Spend time with people who encourage growth, hold themselves accountable, and inspire you to become better. Their habits, standards, and work ethic naturally raise your own. Your physical environment matters just as much. If your workspace is cluttered or filled with distractions, staying productive becomes more difficult. If unhealthy choices are always within reach, discipline requires even more effort. Make the right choice the easiest choice. Organize your space, remove unnecessary distractions, and create surroundings that support your goals instead of working against them. The same principle applies to your mind. Be intentional about what you consume every day. Fill your thoughts with books, conversations, and ideas that encourage growth instead of negativity or endless distractions. Finally, remember that discipline requires absolute clarity. You must know exactly what you're working toward and why it matters. When your purpose is clear, your decisions become easier. Every action gains direction, every sacrifice has meaning, and every disciplined choice moves you one step closer to becoming the person you're capable of becoming. Discipline becomes much easier when your purpose is stronger than your excuses. If you don't know why you're chasing a goal, every obstacle will feel like a reason to quit. But when your reason is personal and meaningful, you stop depending on motivation and start acting with intention. Ask yourself what success really means to you. Don't settle for a vague answer. Go deeper. What will achieving that goal change in your life? How will it improve your future or the lives of the people you care about? A clear purpose gives you direction when life becomes difficult. Once you know your reason, turn it into specific goals. General goals create general results. Instead of saying you want to get healthier, decide that you'll complete a specific fitness milestone by a certain date. Instead of hoping to become more productive, commit to writing a set number of words every day. Clear targets make disciplined choices much easier because you always know what you're working toward. As you make progress, don't ignore the small wins. Every positive decision deserves recognition because every small success strengthens your confidence. Waking up on time, sticking to your routine, or choosing progress over comfort may seem like tiny victories, but they are the building blocks of long-term success. Celebrate those moments because they remind you that your efforts are producing results, even when the biggest rewards haven't arrived yet. Discipline is really about taking ownership of your life. Rather than reacting to whatever happens around you, you begin making choices that shape the future you want. It isn't built overnight. It's developed through consistent action, repeated day after day, until those actions become part of your identity. Another powerful habit is accountability. When your goals exist only in your own mind, it's easy to postpone them. But when you share your commitment with someone you trust, following through becomes much more likely. Whether it's a friend, mentor, family member, or accountability partner, regular check-ins help keep you focused. The goal isn't pressure, it's support and consistency. At the same time, learn to hold yourself accountable. Keep a journal or track your daily progress. Looking back at what you've accomplished creates momentum and reminds you that every disciplined choice matters. It also makes it harder to ignore the habits that are slowing you down. Finally, understand that discipline isn't only about your actions. It's also about how you respond to your emotions. Everyone experiences frustration, doubt, boredom, and setbacks. Those feelings are normal. The difference is that disciplined people don't allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. They recognize how they feel, but they continue moving forward anyway. When you learn to manage your emotions instead of letting them manage you, discipline becomes a lasting part of who you are. That's the foundation of real success, and that's the mindset we believe in here at Daily Principle. Discipline isn't about pretending you never feel tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed. Those emotions are part of being human. The real difference is learning not to let those feelings make your decisions. You can acknowledge that you're having a difficult day without allowing that moment to pull you away from your goals. Self-awareness gives you that power. When you recognize what you're feeling, you can respond with intention instead of reacting on impulse. One of the best ways to regain control is to change the story you're telling yourself. When your mind says the task is impossible, remind yourself that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Instead of focusing on how far you still have to go, focus on the progress you've already made. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you're moving closer to the person you want to become. Your mindset shapes your emotions, and your emotions influence your actions. Change your perspective, and staying disciplined becomes much easier. Gratitude is another habit that strengthens resilience. During difficult seasons, it's easy to notice only what's going wrong. Instead, train yourself to recognize what's still going well. Spend a few minutes each evening writing down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be life-changing moments. Sometimes simply completing your daily tasks or learning something new is worth appreciating. This simple practice keeps your attention on progress instead of problems. It's also important to accept that failure is part of every meaningful journey. Discipline isn't measured by never making mistakes. It's measured by how quickly you recover from them. Everyone misses a workout, skips a productive day, or falls back into an old habit from time to time. That doesn't erase your progress. What matters is choosing to begin again instead of giving up. Rather than criticizing yourself after a setback, become curious. Ask what caused the mistake and what lesson you can take from it. Every obstacle provides information that can help you improve. When failure becomes a teacher instead of an enemy, it loses the power to stop you. Remember, success is built over months and years, not in a single day. The small choices you make consistently will always matter more than occasional bursts of motivation. Every time you return to your routine after a setback, you strengthen your character and reinforce the habits that lead to lasting success. At Daily Principle, we believe discipline isn't simply something you practice from time to time. It's a way of living. As you continue making intentional choices, staying resilient through challenge. Remember that discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build through the choices you make every single day. Every time you stay consistent, overcome a setback, or choose progress over excuses, you're becoming a stronger version of yourself. Keep showing up, trust the process, and let your daily actions shape the future you truly want. If you found value in today's message, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Daily Principle, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep moving forward.